Nine times out of 10, we all know when we ain't living right. We all know when it's time for a change, and the reason we procrastinate is because we know that change does not bring initial pleasure. Doing something for the first time will be very uneasy, even if what you're doing is the best thing for you. The moment I knew enough was enough came very abruptly and for good reason. I'm glad it happened when it did and how it did, because if not, it would have came much later, or possibly even never. It was a combination of things that triggered my change, and I'll list them throughout this video and save the best for last. Let's get into it. I graduated from Lincoln College of Technology here in Chicago back in 2010 and was awarded my associate's degree in applied science. What is applied science, you ask? I don't know. I haven't applied any science since 2010. Like, what? The balance on my loan was originally $16,000, and I ignored my loans. I ignored my loans from 2010 to 2016, which is when I started paying them back. You know what happens when you ignore your loans? They go into default. I defaulted on my loans. That was one of my biggest mistakes ever. So that loan that was originally $16,000 turned into $28,000. Boy. Now, me being the young, hard-headed, immature individual that I was at the time, I knew that I was in default. I knew that my loan balance had jumped significantly, and guess what I did? Nothing. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing at all. I got all the letters in the mail. I received all the phone calls. I put all of that on the back burner continuously for 6 years straight. Even in 2014, where they finally said, you know what? You're going to ignore us. You're going to not call us back. You're going to not respond to emails. You're going to ignore our letters. What we're going to do is garnish your wages. In 2014, my wages were garnished. So at my job, they took 15% directly out of my paycheck. That didn't even stop me. Like, I wasn't even ready to change then. So fast forward to the end of the year. Y'all know when we all get that W-2, right? We get excited. We get that W-2. It's tax season. I go to file to receive my income tax. And in 2015, top of the year, soon as that check hit, I get excited after filing my taxes. I go to the bank to try to withdraw that money. It hit, and then it disappeared. So I didn't even know that my income taxes would be garnished as well. My whole income tax check was taken from me by the government. Who would have thought? That still didn't stop me. That still didn't stop your boy, because I was not ready to change. I wasn't ready to change. This is how insane I was. They took my entire income tax check for 2014, and I said, you know what? It is what it is. Y'all got y'all money. We're going to go into 2015, turn a new leaf, and let's see what comes from it. I didn't change anything. Once again, I did the exact same thing over and over. I didn't call nobody back. I didn't respond to any emails. All the letters that came in the mail, I just ripped those up and threw them in the garbage. My wages were still being garnished at work, and we get to the end of 2015, and tax season hits, and guess what? I got excited. Yep, W-2 just came in, bet. Call my guy. I want to file this. I want to file that. I'm supposed to get $2,200 back. Let's get it. 2016 roll around. The same thing happened. That income tax return was taken again. So 2 years straight, 2014, 2015, both of my tax returns were taken from me, and that still didn't stop me. I just scratched my head and asked, like, how? How is this even possible? Like, why are they even taking my money? I was mad. I was frustrated, and I was supposed to understand by then. You feel like, okay, if this happened 2 times in a row, somebody's going to do what they need to do to get to the bottom of the problem. That wasn't me. I wasn't ready to change. I didn't even think. I was ignorant. I thought that if I just continue to live life, maybe things will change for me. But that wasn't the case. That clearly wasn't the case. So I know for a fact this is how a lot of people think. And that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I was insane. That brings us to 2016. I'm about 24, maybe 25 years old at the time. And I feel like it's time to move out of my parents' house. Yep, I feel like it's time to move. My room is right next to my parents' room, and the walls are thin. The walls are thin. I don't need to be hearing what's going on over there, and they don't need to be hearing what's going on in my room. I said, you know what? Let's move. My girlfriend and I decided to move in together. We found an apartment and adulthood officially began. This right here is the most pivotal moment of this entire story. This right here was the point where enough was enough. Enough was enough, and I need to do what I need to do to better my situation. Otherwise, I'm never going to do it, and I'll be in the same situation as I was the prior 6 years of my life. We know it costs to live. We know it costs to live. You got a roof over your head. You have to pay somebody in order to live there. I knew that. Back then, our rent was only $950. That's relatively cheap for Chicago. I wish it was still $950 right now, honestly, but that's neither here nor there. The rent was only $950, and Kara and I were going 50-50. So to cover the rent, all the utilities and groceries, we were shelling out about $1,200 to $1,300 per month, and that meant I would only have to come up with $600. So we mapped it all out, wrote it down. We said this, I'll cover this, you'll cover that. I'm like, all right, I can come up with $600. That's nothing. We get to the end of the first month together. Bills due, rent due. You got the money? I'm looking at my account. I know the money not in there. I know 100% the money isn't in there, but I'm acting like, yeah, I got it. Matter of fact, here, I got about 300. I got 300 for you. Here, I got you when I get paid next time. No worries. She said, no worries, all right? No worries. Give me when you can. We roll around to February, because we're at the top of the year. We're at the top of the year here. We roll around to February, and rent's due again. You got the rent? I mean, how much you need? How much was the rent again? Was it, what is 600 you said? I thought it was, I didn't think nothing. I'm playing stupid now. I don't have the rent. I got another $250. I even had less than the month before. I give her the $250. She go off. She went completely ham.
Really, Q? Really? You know we're in $600, you only gave me $250. You gave me $300 last month, you still owe me, like, are you really, like...
When I say I felt that, I still feel it now. Like, my heart is racing telling y'all this story. I still feel it. She went ham on me, and for good reason. For good reason. Like, you got to hold up your end of the bargain. You got to hold up your end of the deal. You signed a lease. Both of our signatures was on that lease, so that means both of us have to give 50%. I wasn't giving my 50%, and she let me know, like, you're bugging. Like, you tweaking. You're tweaking. You need to either come up with your half, or I'm leaving. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not a babysitter. I'm not your parent. I'm not here to take care of you. If you're not ready, I can't, we'll have to meet back up in the future or something. But right now, it seems like you're not ready, and I'm not having it. That right there was the deciding factor. Deciding factor right there. So I said, you're absolutely right. I couldn't agree more. Like, I couldn't do nothing but agree with it, because that's kind of bogus when you think about it. It's really bogus. You make a pact, you come up with a plan together as a couple, and when you don't hold up your end of the deal, it's just not right. It's not right. And like I said, I was immature. I wasn't ready to change, and that was the deciding factor. It took my girlfriend yelling at me to let me know, like, Q, it's time for a change. You got to get it together. If you don't get it together now, nothing else good is going to go on in your life. And that's when it started. So March 2016, March 16th, 2016. I remember it like it was yesterday. That was the moment I made my change. That was the moment I picked up a second job. That was the moment I finally brought 50% to the table. That was the moment I called the debt collectors back. That was the moment I found Dave Ramsey and implemented his baby steps. that was the moment I transformed into the person that y'all see right now. It took a long time. It took a long time. It took a lot of trial and error. It took a lot of mistakes. And it took only one pivotal situation, one moment, one enough is enough moment for me to get it completely together. If you got any value out of this particular video, let me know in the comments. Like this video for me. And last but not least, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I go by the name of Q. And like I always say, if Q can make it happen, you can make it happen. I'll holler at y'all next video. Peace.